Good afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you're at watching this. Hello. For those who don't know me, my name is Joe Burns. I am the founder and the leader of the Next Gen Millionaires. And if you're watching this, you could be a Next Gen Millionaire. A lot of people usually ask me, like, Joe, I'm too old to be one because they think Next Gen's like the up and rising generation. Well, yeah, when we think of like people, it is. But when we look at like what my goal is to accomplish and how I talk about money and how I introduce my concepts is really changing this next generation of millionaires. So age is not a requirement. Commitment to what you want to accomplish is, and it's that impact and legacy that you want to leave. So welcome to this week. And so I was thinking today what I want to live stream or what I want to create this video about, right? Live streaming. Really it's going to be about the attitude of money. Well, more than just the attitude of money, but the attitudes, like I have this attitudes of money, right? If you go back and I have a download, you can download and you can go take this little assessment to be like, oh, here's where I'm struggling with one of the 10. There are more than 10, but 10 are where where I really like to stick with because they're the base foundational ones. One of those being the attitude of opportunity. So it's really that age-old adage, because I was thinking today and I'm like, how do we get ahead in business, right? When we really look at that, how do we get ahead in business? Money comes from people. Like I talk about all these different things, and it's about the relationship of money, right? That you've heard me talk about a bunch of times, unless you're new, and then you haven't heard me talk about it at all. But it really is the relationship that you have with money that changes everything. So, I mean, when we look at opportunity, right? And that's why kind of the age-old adage, right? In business, everybody always talks about, like, it's not what you know, it's who you know, right? And I heard that a lot growing up and always in business and through sales and all that stuff, but that kind of adage always comes up. When you look at money, it's no different. So I thought this fit perfectly with the attitude of opportunity because it's all about the opportunities. The thing is, if we don't meet with people, if we don't connect with people, it's hard to find opportunities. We can scour the internet, look for opportunities ourselves, and that's one method. Generally, that's the more energy draining method. But really, I want to talk today mostly the part of the attitude of opportunity, right, is being open to opportunities, but also being available for opportunities. But I want to talk about the relationship side, because that's the most important side in my book, right? And really that's, who are we talking to, right? You really look at it, and as you're going about your weekly kind of schedule, as you've set up for your business. I know lots of business owners, and if you haven't, I would suggest sitting down and kind of planning out your week. It helps give some structure to your life. I know most of us are in business because we want to write our own rules and have our own schedules. Which is good, but you still got to tell your time what to do, just like your money. So I would suggest sitting down and at least planning loosely out your week, not every minute of every day. Some people like that, some people don't, but at least have some idea what you're going to do. But outside of that, now comes kind of the part where, who are we going to connect with, right? Who are we going to talk to this week? Now, if you look at the sales world, it's a numbers game always, right? We can get this many sales if we talk to this many people. Always the question is like, who are we going to talk to? And I'm going to give a little another suggestion. It's not always about just like that sales conversation. One thing that drives me bonkers, like let's go here for a second. One thing that drives me bonkers is I get lots of LinkedIn connections, which I'm fine with that. That's not the bonkers part. What happens though is a lot of ones I have no idea, like they're not connected to me in any way. But I do like podcasts, and I have publications out there, and on my blog and my YouTube videos, right? And so I don't know where people are connecting to me from. Like I have no idea. So I'm just going to connect. Like it's a chance to possibly meet somebody new and interesting. But lately what's been happening is I'll connect with people, right? And again, who knows where they came from, because they don't tell me like, hey, some will. Some will put in the message, right? That welcome message, say, hey, I saw you here. So, blah, blah, blah. This is where I met you. I'd love to connect. I like those ones because then at least I have some reference point. The other ones I've been getting, and you could be the same for you, is like you connect with them, and then within like a couple hours, right? It's almost like clockwork. And maybe they have some way to get this automated. I don't know, but it's like clockwork. And pretty soon, I get this wall of text from them about, um, man, do you have enough clients? We can help get you clients, or do you have this or that? And I'm like, really? It's another one of these. Like, not even, hey, how are you? Like, what's your business? I'd like to connect. Like nothing like that. They just want to like give me a free strategy call and help me find clients, and that's my problem. Well, is it my problem? How do you know that I don't have like a full schedule of people of clients that I'm teaching? You don't know, right? But when we start thinking about sales, we start going into kind of this world of, oh, I just got to pitch. Like if I pitch enough people, then someone's going to say yes. And that works, right? Like it's worked in sales for a long time, but you burn through a lot of people. And I would rather look for connections because, again, it's not what you know. You have to know something, but at the end of the day, it's really who you know. What are those connections? And it's not just who you know, but it's what are the really good connections that you have, right? And that's the bigger question. A perfect example of this just today. Somebody There's a publication out there where you can look for, it's called HARO, HARO, like help a reporter out, right? They'll send out this big long thing, and then you can like look through this small publication they have. They do it like 3 times a day. It's crazy, but it's basically reporters or people writing articles for publications. They're looking for experts in different areas, and people can send in submissions for it. And I usually look through them as they come through. And most of the time, like in the business finance area where I kind of might fall, there's not a lot around like the emotional side of money, which is what I teach, right? You all know that by now who's watched. If not, then this is what I teach about, right? The emotional side of money. I'm not going to really help you with a budget or that kind of what people would label the IQ side of it. It's not like how to invest or what to invest in or your budgets or all that stuff. There's pretty smart people out there that can help you with that, right? That kind of like heavy number crunching. I like numbers because they tell a story, but I like the story part, right? And that emotional side. Anyway, so somebody, a connection of mine, someone who's I've met and had interactions with, sent me this wonderful email today. Said, "Hey Joe, I don't know if you have somebody that watches these or if you saw this, but here's something that I think would be awesome." And she sent it to me. I sent back a quick email. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I missed this one. Thank you. This is so cool." Right? But the thing people think like, and it's the title header is something about like, how do you feel about money or something like that, or what attitude do you have against towards money? It's something along those lines, right? Anyways, not as important. But anyway, so I'm sitting here. I'm like, cool, this opportunity. Now I got to send in a query, right? Because I have a deadline and all this fun stuff. But it's so cool. She thought of me like that connection's there. Who knows where this will go? But again, that connection's there. Now I have this query process I got to go through. So my mind went like, oh, I don't know how to do that, but I know somebody who does. So I reached out to somebody I know who does this. I'm like, hey, listen, this opportunity came up and you got to jump on them pretty quick. And so I'm like, do you have availability? And, what's the price? What's all this cool stuff? Like, I want to make this happen because I want to get published, right? That's one thing I like doing, giving a message out there for more people to see. And so she said back, and the crazy thing is, like, it's how I met her, like just through connections and through groups I teach or groups I'm part of. So you never know where you're going to meet people, where that's going to be, but you have to set yourself up to be successful in the opportunities that show up. Right. And a lot of times what happens is we'll have an opportunity that shows up for us. And sometimes if it costs money, right? When it costs money here, right? When we talk about money, I love money, that sometimes we'll opt out because of fear. I'm not saying join everything you ever comes across your plate, but what I want you to do is start looking at the fear and saying, is fear preventing me from having an opportunity that's going to help me grow individually and help grow my business? Right? Those are some important questions because sometimes we'll opt out and we'll be like, oh, I can't because, and most of the time we'll say because I can't afford it. Or you start to get a little scared because of the money aspect. Now, I'm not advocating for irresponsibility with your money. Those who know me know that's not my message. But what I'm asking is look at the fear and say, what is it preventing me from doing? Now, that fear is not just about money. It could be reaching out to people you've met, right? And be like, oh, I don't want to like, I don't know. I don't want to like, that person might be busy. I don't want to bother them. I could do that as well. Right? I could be like, oh, hey, you know, this person is, might be busy, right? I watch them on Facebook or something and be like, oh, I saw they were somewhere away. So maybe they're busy. Maybe they can't do this. No, that's letting our fear get in the way of them making a choice. I don't want to go too far down that because that's a whole different conversation. But what I want you to do is really just start thinking about like, who do you know who can help you with the situation that you're in? Now, for some of you, I'm gonna always advocate, like if you're having problem making more money in your business and you're like, I don't know, I've tried all these things and it's not working. Well, I'm that person. Like for reals, come talk to me. Let's have a conversation. But if it's like, hey, I need this aspect of my business, I'm not sure. I need a CPA, I need an accountant, I need a bookkeeper. I need someone to help me with marketing copywriting because I'm not a good marketing copywriter, right? Or who knows what? There's lots of different things. Or my technology's like I can get it done, but it's costing me money, right? And time. I need help. The problem is when we always go back to what can I do? And if you're bootstrapping or even larger entrepreneurs be like, oh no, I don't want to spend that money, so I'm going to do it. But my question always is that the best use of your time? Could you do something else that helps move your big impact goal or your legacy forward, right? That big passion part of your life. Is it moving your business further ahead? Or is it not? See, these are the questions you have to start asking because our brains are tricky and they're going to mess with us the entire time. They're going to say like, well, no, that costs money, or the fear pops up, like I said. So we're not going to ask. We're not going to show up. We're not going to opt into the opportunity. Now remember, and people are going to remember you by how much interaction you have with them. If you're spamming their LinkedIn inbox, they're probably not going to like really think of you as first choice for things. But if you care about what they're doing, if you care about where they're at, if you care about the little things in their lives of just connecting as a human being, they'll remember you. And that's what I'm really driving towards. So opportunity comes because of other people. And your name pops up first because they think of you because of interactions you've had. So as you go through the rest of this week, I want you to really start thinking about how am I connecting with people? Because if we really go back to the adage, right? It's not what you know, but who you know. How am I really connecting with people? And if I start connecting with more people, what will happen with my business? And using that, I've seen some people that I've coached really grow their businesses quite quickly to the point where there have been a couple of people that's actually scared. They're like, whoa, almost like that's too much money. Let's have it like, that's too much. I don't know how I'm going to do that. It seems funny. Right? People will be like, oh, there's no such thing as too much money, but there is. And people will tend to freak out a little bit. So this week, connect with more people. Look for opportunities and how you can help them, but also offer up how you can be of service to them as well. But get to know them first. Don't spam inboxes. I don't respond to those people. They drive me bonkers. It really makes me angry because I'm like, you don't know me. You have no clue. We had one, and even sometimes like a small, quick conversation about like, hey, how's it going? I saw you. I connected. Like I've had this happen on Facebook just recently. And I'm like, I don't really know you. And now you're trying to like get me on a phone call to sell me something. Like I don't know you. I don't know what even you're trying to give me or sell me or connect with me. Now, if it's powerful, I'm in, but help me understand, right? There's a better way for us to sell our services, but first one's got to be connecting with people. And as you do that, you're going to find that your life is more enriched because you have these good connections that you can call on when you need help, or when they need help, they'll call on you. So focus on the connections this week. Look for the opportunity, but you got to create it. And the first step is actually connecting with people so you can create that space. So let me know in the comments below of your favorite way to connect with people. I'd love to find out because I have my methods, but I'm always looking for cool new ways that I can connect with people that doesn't feel I'm gonna say it doesn't feel slimy and just like salesy. Like I really like connecting with people, which if you had known me many years ago, wouldn't have always been the case. So I don't know. It's fun. It's something fun to do in the age of what I'm at in this season of my life. So, anyways, have a great week. As always, again, post what that is. Post any questions you have. I'd love to hear your questions. I will answer them if you post them, and maybe that might scare some of you. I don't know. I'll leave it up to you. Until next week, we'll see you. Bye.